Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Full-time MMA?
MMA,
Nothing
yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
What is up, full-time family? Well, this is the Guida versus Charles Oliveira post-fight analysis. Now, normally I do these right after the fight, and I put the spoiler in the headline. But we're changing things here up at Full-Time MMA. If you can't tell, we got Full-Time MMA in the morning every single weekday, like a morning show. And we just started doing fight companions, which I did last night, so I'm not able to immediately report right after the fights. But with that being said, if you were watching the fight companion, shout out to you, Full-Time family, and anybody else that joined. My voice is a little gone. I've got to take it easy today because I was going fucking crazy last night during one of the best fight cards of the year. Hashtag war pump. Damn. Forget that though, because we had wars on the card. Fucking hashtag war Whitaker low key. Robert Whitaker versus Yoel Romero. What a fucking crazy main event. Who would have expected that? Just what an absolutely insane night of fights. Kobe Covington's a fucking UFC champion. Holy smokes, man. So, with that being said, let's get into this Guida versus Charles Oliveira fight, which was the second fight of the night. I'm not going to, cover the fights. There's so many fights to cover, so many big fights. So, the first fight of the night was Mike Chirico versus Dan Ige. Dan Ige looked great. Came in, got, I believe, a first-round submission or a first-round KO over Mike Santiago. I believe that's who he was fighting. Mike Santiago, yeah. And Dan Ige moved to 9-2. Now he's 1-1 in the UFC. So congrats to Dan Ige. But as far as the next fight of the night, it was Charles Oliveira versus Guida. Another quick first round finish. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira came in, took this fight on somewhat short notice. Guida was originally supposed to be facing Bobby Green. Bobby Green was forced out of the fight, I believe, due to injury. So Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira stepped up and literally, if you see this picture, this was my favorite part of the fight. He threw a Anderson Silva Lyoto Machida front kick, but jumping. You see his fucking right foot is off of the ground, and his left foot low-key kicked Guida straight in the dome. I'm pretty sure he connected with that when I was watching the fight. I'm not watching it immediately after, but he did. But that's not how the fight ended, but that was one of my favorite parts of the fight. He literally jumped up with a front kick, like a jumping front kick. That was dope. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira, though, ended up winning the fight via submission, actually. I believe it was his 10th submission in the UFC, 15th submission in his professional career. He tied Royce Gracie with the most submissions in the UFC. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira, he snapped Guida's two-fight winning streak, actually. Guida was on a two-fight winning streak. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira came into this fight, I believe, off of a loss. He had won one fight, lost one fight coming into this fight. So Charles Oliveira back on the winning track. Guida got a two-fight winning streak snapped, but either way, man, it was a good fight, and it was just one of the first fights on the UFC 225 early fight pass prelims. Insane night of fights. Now that we can look back and say hindsight is 2020. But either way, man, congratulations to Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira for the big win over the veteran, the Carpenter Guida at UFC 225 in Chicago, in front of Guida's hometown. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira coming in, getting the first round submission, getting the job done on enemy territory. So with that being said, man, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new, or if you're just slacking on your pimping, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to help support this independent channel, you can either click the PayPal button in the description, or you can go to patreon.com/fulltimemma and consider becoming a patron. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.